Monday, the 17th of February, 2014 it is. This is Morning Express. I'm Sophia Wanuna. You know him. You've seen him a lot on the streets. Sometimes he's ruffled up by police, but he keeps the message going. But he's saying that time has come. He's hung up the boots and saying, done with that. He cares too much for his life. But we have him now in studio to talk to him more about that. Boniface Mwangi, photojournalist and activist, and now retiring from activism, with us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Sophia.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So let's begin with the diaper mentality. And of course, let's first have a look at a clip. I understand we have a clip of the preparations ahead of the protests last week. So just how you went about preparing to go to the streets, February the 13th it was, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's have a look at that clip and we'll continue the conversation. And remember, we'll have our phone lines open for you so that you can be part of this conversation as well.
We have oil, but we can't drink it, right?
One stress job.
Diaper mentality, that was February the 13th, the protest we saw around the capital. What informed that? First, the name, and how long did it take to prepare? Because just some of the behind-the-scenes clips we
Maybe the photography about 4 months, but the protest like almost the whole of last year.
Okay.
I thought about why did we vote the way we did, and I realized that we think in a very childish manner. As in, Kenya is 50 years old, but our mind has refused to grow. We still have a very childish mentality. You know what child thinks about today. They don't know about tomorrow or the day after. They don't save because there's money for them. And when you're a child and you wear a diaper, it's fine. That's understandable. But when you're an adult and you wear a diaper, then there's a problem. So what you have actually is Kenyans who have a diaper mentality. They have a very childish mentality. And they never think about long term. And you can see how we vote and how we do things. You board a matatu, it's full. It's overloaded, it's overspeeding, but you don't say anything because you're afraid as a child. They pee on the road. There are many things that Kenyans do that remind you and make you so mad that if a child did those things, if a child was peeing by the roadside, if a child did some of the things that we do, it's understandable. But when you're of age and you do those things, it's very, very wrong. Yeah. So my idea was actually to say that someone needs to grow up, starting with the president, then the whole of the country, because you see, a fish rots from the head, so you start from the top guy going down. But I said I'm going to actually take pictures and start illustrating from everywhere, from every facet of life. Yeah. From the extreme wealthy to the extreme poor people and the things that they do that make Kenya a bad country. And so it was actually an attitude change campaign that I was trying to launch and say we need to take stock as a country and say what's wrong with us and how can we change that? Because if we don't change our minds, then 2017 we'll have the same problem. In 2032, we'll have the same issues. And so it is our responsibility to take stock, look where things are going wrong, and change our ways. Yeah.
All right. And remember, please, you can call us. The numbers are on your screen. You want to engage Boniface Mwangi, have a question for him or a comment, feel free to call and we'll talk to you this morning. Boniface, you talked about this being about an attitude change.
Yes.
And that you thought about this and started planning 1 year ago.
Yeah.
What goes into planning a protest, some would wonder, because this is not the first, of course, even as you give us the background of how long you've been doing this for.
The protest wasn't planned over a year, so the photography was, but the protest is like the last few months.
Okay.
It was meant to happen in December, then Mandela died, then the Jubilee thing, they said let's move it to let's move to this year. Then Parliament on recess, so we had to wait until Parliament came back, because we need to go actually take those things to Parliament. A lot of things actually happened. So there are many people that I worked with. I worked with an amazing team who did a lot of the work that you're seeing on the screen right now. But basically, I think the biggest challenge of what I do and what we did is that Kenyans are very fickle. They're very small-minded, never see the bigger picture. They're very excited when they see something, then they move on.
Right.
If you look at some of the best investigative pieces have been done by KTN, by Namu and Muhammad Ali, we tweet about it. It's like a Jack Bauer movie. We talk about
Get
it.
excited, yeah.
Yes, no one goes to court, no one is jailed. We haven't had a single person jailed from an expose that has been done by any journalist in this country. Kenya police is the most corrupt force in this country. People know cops are extremely corrupt. We don't have a single police officer in jail for receiving a bribe. That's the country we live in. We have reached a level where we accept things are normal. Corruption is normal. Vote bribery is normal. The president insulting Kenyans is normal. And even human rights activists being threatened is normal. So you reach a level and you ask yourself, why should I die for this country? After all, it's normal. These things are normal. It's like you die today, nothing changes. As in, the truth is that if I die today, nothing will change in this country.
Right.
There'll be no revolution. I would have died in vain. And so you reach a level, you're like, why should I die? Why should I risk my life?
So you give up?
You don't give up. You change strategy. I've been systematically threatened. Systematically.
Talk to us about some of those threats.
For the last 2 years, from guys coming to my office, from getting phone calls. When we did the Mavolta series and all that, I got a lot of phone calls and a lot of threats. I got arrested, all that went away. After the election, I said I'm not going to do activism because there's a lot of threats coming. Then I said, you know what, I have to do what I believe in, and I did it again. And then the threats became constant. One cop came and told me, wanasema atakuwa uko na kierere sana. I didn't take it seriously.
So that's a cop who came to you?
Cop who came to me and told me,
face to face?
Yeah, uko na kierere atakuwa sana. So because I have cop friends. But it has reached a level where now Kimemia says that I'm being used to top of the government. You know, that's a very serious allegation. And I go back to history. When Oscar Kingara and GPO were killed, Alfred Mutu had warned them that morning, and they were killed the same day. And what people don't know, when GPO and Oscar died, many people fled the country because they were not working alone. They were working with a group of other people. And then people left the country, then came back when they felt safer. There's not a very strong protection mechanism in Kenya where you feel safe. I can't get a bodyguard, I can't get a gun, as in I can't afford to protect myself. And so what do? I have to take myself out of the harm's way to be safe. Because the other option for me is actually leaving the country, which I'm not going to do. So what am I going to do? I'm going to stay here and change my strategy because it seems the power to be comfortable with the work that we do. And I don't think I'm that valuable. I'm going just to die and then people move on. You have to ask yourself why people are not screaming about what's going on in this country, the corruption scandals, because they know very well that whistleblowers are normally killed. They're not celebrated. When Githongo blew the whistle on Anglo-Leasing, he had to leave the country. And you find that people who are civil servants, who know what's going on, they can never talk because they learned from David Munyakei, who died a poor man and a bitter person after exposing the biggest scandal in this country. And even right now, when you talk about the railway tender scandal, the people know who are involved there, but no one wants to talk about it.
Even the president does not want to. He'll just talk about
even members of parliament who are personal bodyguards are afraid of talking about these things. We have a mafia that runs this country. It's a reality. And that mafia, the president is a hostage of the same mafia. He's afraid of them. Because after all, he got the presidency because some people sat down in a room and said, he's going to be president. You're going to do everything that you can to ensure he becomes president. So
what you're saying is ailing the country is a childishness, immature kind of a state of mind and affairs that people do not get, that to move and to shift the paradigm, there are certain things that must happen and must change.
Yeah, and the maturity is in this level. The biggest enemy for Kenya is not Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto. The biggest enemy is Uhuru Ruto followers and supporters,
Okay.
who are the blind supporters. You know why? They've refused to mature. That when you question the laptop tender and say the laptop tender is not okay, I don't think Kenyans need laptops right now. As Bill Okero was here saying that you
Right.
go to Mandera, they don't have schools, they don't have teachers. So what are they going to do the laptops? Use them as chopping board for Sukuma Wiki?
All right, I'll continue. I'll let you continue in a short while. Let's speak to Austin, who's calling us from
Okay.
Nakuru. Austin, good morning.
Morning, Wanuna. How are you?
Good. Thank you for calling. You have a question or a comment?
I have a question and a comment.
Go ahead.
And before I start, I would just love to say that huyo jamaa anafanya job poa sana. TBD. Nothing comes easily as your corporate stories are threats za gava. Yes, I understand the gava iko na a very strong machinery na inaweza bring down anytime.
Right.
But I saw him yesterday. I even saw family yake. I was really, really touched. Because these guys like me, we are almost in the same age. I want him to fight. People like us from a distance, we are seeing what he's doing. We are backing him up. Now we'll make sure that 2017 to bring difference in this country. And I appreciate Sana what he's doing. And if Mr. President is listening to us, let him come up with a change. Youths are suffering outside here so much. Na watu wako na masomo mzuri.
All right, Austin.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling in. Of course, Austin, a huge supporter.
Thank you, Austin. Yeah.
Of you. You've mentioned change of strategy. What do you mean when you say change of strategy?
I don't think we're going to win this battle if we go direct on. We need to actually think politically, because what you have in this country is a political problem, and that requires a political solution. So if we can shift the mind of the people to see what is good leadership and what good leadership can bring, maybe 2017 we can actually say we need a third alternative force to challenge the government.
So you're buying 2017?
Am I vying? I don't think so. My vying will depend on a lot of things. My vying will depend. Have Kenyans changed the way they think? A good example is that I was accused of being funny to topple the government. And I'm being told the things that I'm talking about, justice, equality, are foreign. What's foreign about that? So if Kenyans can buy that kind of reasoning from Kimemia, that you're trying to topple the government to try and dilute the work you're doing, then Kenyans are not ready for good leadership. If you look at the way Kenyans vote, look at how we voted in Nairobi. Who is our senator? Who is our women rep? What have they done? If you look at the whole country, who did we vote for? Look at Kiambu. Who did they vote for? Look at Mombasa. Who did they vote for? If Kenyans cannot actually, if they don't stop selling their vote, then there's no way someone like, even if I vie, I'll never win. I'll only get 2 votes, mine and my wife's. I can guarantee you.
Okay.
Kenyans need to actually think about this country in a long-term way, and so that when you vote, you know that you're making a decision not only for you, for your kids. And if you're not a father or a mother, one day you'll become a parent and think about their kids' future. We need to run away from tribalism, because that's another thing that is destroying us. But if you look at who benefits when you're tribal, the politicians. Who benefit when you don't follow the rule of law? The politician. There's the day this country start working, I even told Itumbi, because sometimes when I get calls from the NIS, I call Itumbi and ask, because I know Itumbi, and used to know Itumbi before. I knew Itumbi before who knew who Itumbi was. I call Itumbi and ask, why is NIS calling me? And Itumbi will give me half-baked excuse. Why at the other time NIS is going to my friends, talking about to my friends? As in, you find that they approached me, but now they're going to talk to individually my friend. They want to know me, they want to know more about me. And I'm like, why are they coming after me? What have I done? If I've broken any law, let them arrest me, take me to court. Don't come to me through this. So they've put fear among me, among my friends, to a level where I'm like, you know what? Here, this country doesn't belong to me. I'm walking away.
All right. Calvin from Gara is calling as well. Calvin, good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for calling. Question or comment?
Hi, hi, Mr. Mwangi.
Hi.
How are you doing, my brother?
Very good.
I must commend you and say that this country really needs brave people like yourself. But if you had a multitude of people like you, we should not be moving further with the best of people activism and non-get-off rights.
Okay. Calvin, I think we're having a problem with your line. Cannot quite get what you're saying. But hopefully you can call back or tweet me or text. Sophia Wanuna, 22155 is our SMS number. You, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, at some point you did travel to the United States. Was it a conference? What was that about? Because in trying to understand where this relationship that is trying, everybody's trying to link you and the Western powers, and that you're being manipulated and used, that USAID is funding your work. What was that about then? How you got the invitation? What part of that? What was it? I
travel a lot. I was in the US last year 5 times. I lecture for a living and I take photography. I spoke at the UN last year in September. I was invited by one talk about factivism, using facts to enact vism. So I do travel a lot. There's no way the US government would actually back someone like me to topple a democratically elected government. And I think overthrowing a government requires more intelligence than a street protest. It's not that easy. We have the state apparatus, we have the military, you have the intelligence, you have the police force, you have the civil servants. You need to be able to, it needs to be a bigger plot. So accusing someone like me and Joya to try to topple the government, Ogidongo, it's far-fetched. My traveling to the US has nothing to do with me trying to topple the government. I think if you want to bring change in this country, it can't be done through the bullet. It has to be done through the ballot. And we all know that. But the problem is, are we going to have fair elections in 2017? Are we guaranteed of fair elections? I think the bigger picture now, talking about moving forward, I think where we are at the moment is actually ensuring that the younger generation can actually take this country seriously, and we can focus on serious issues beyond the English Premier League and beyond drinking and partying and Facebook and Twitter.
Alcohol blow.
And the alcohol blow, which is a big issue. How do we discover our voice? How do we ensure that matatus follow the law? You see, if our president, let me tell you how our president is a lame duck who can't do much. He's unable to ensure that matatus follow the law. Just simple thing. If we can't ensure matatus follow the law, and that's the lowest part of this country. As you know, chini kabisa, and boda guys wear a helmet. How is he going to enforce the bigger issues? If we can't fight impunity on the lowest level, he would fight the impunity on the biggest level. Our president fight to corruption is actually opening a website. I would like him to tell us, here's a website for reporting corruption.
Right.
How many people have reported corruption on that website? How many people have been taken to court because of that? On the other hand, we want to know how many people, we would like the president to make public the guest register at State House, the people who are visiting him. Because as we get accused of trying to topple the government, we want to know the mafia that runs this country who visit him to go and give him advice and tell him who to give the tender to. All
right, let's talk to Alfred, who's calling us from Bungoma. Alfred, good morning.
Good morning, Wanuna.
How are you?
As you said, I'm Alfred, I'm fine, and I'm just watching you. Boniface, I have a comment and a question to you.
Yes.
I've seen you before. You have been a photographer.
Yes.
And now you are in this activism thing.
Yeah.
What inspired you to go into activism and abandon your job as a photographer? 2, I like your job, but how come you are just what can I say? How come you are bringing up this? I'm seeing these images in your clip, and some of them are explicit, and then some of them are, I'm seeing my president in an underwear. That exaggeration, don't you think that is a bit inhuman? Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred. He's had you loud and clear.
So why I left my job is because I wanted to try and bring change, and I was preaching peace with Bichamtani, which I traveled the country, and that was funded by USAID. The government knows that. It's on the website. They were funding our peace activities, which they funded a lot. Even they funded the government to do that.
Okay.
Our president in an underwear, it's actually a mentality. It's trying to say that you need to grow up and stop wearing diapers, because the reason why you wear those things so that you don't show your mess. But I think we're grown-ups, and that's the reason we're showing that when the president of a country stands up and says that newspapers is for wrapping meat, he's insulting the Kenyan's intelligence. When the president of a country says that I'm going to be here for 10 years and you can have your say after that, he's insulting all of us. And so there's nothing wrong with wearing a diaper. We all shower naked. No one showers with clothes. And so when you wear a diaper, you must not have a trouser. So I'm showing you that attitude. Actually, Kenya is naked. So that's what I'm showing, actually. There's nothing nude, or there's nothing
out of norm with this situation. What is the fact?
It's a reality, guys.
On the ground.
Pedestrians try and competing with vehicles to cross the road when the light is actually showing green. The light is showing green.
Okay.
This country belongs to all of us. why can't we all speak? If I was going to the streets and had thousands coming with me to protest on those issues, I would feel much safer. But every time I go, we have a few hundreds. And they know very well, if you target Boniface, then this thing goes down. So the best thing to do is actually try and mutate ourselves. That in every county, there's someone actually protesting about an issue.
Yeah.
Like, he's called Alvin, who called from Nakuru. The Nakuru governor has not done anything. I haven't seen him anywhere in the past few months.
Right.
Why can't the Nakuru youth protest and demand better from their governor? They're not doing that. I think we need to actually start demanding better because we deserve better as Kenyans.
Something you've mentioned, I'm just taking clarity on that. You said that one of your projects, you got funding from USAID.
Yes.
How many other people have funded your other past projects?
So we got funding from USAID to do that, and the other partner was the Kenyan government. We got funding from the German government to do the traveling exhibition, which is actually public information. You go to Pichamtani website, you'll see we did a traveling exhibition preaching peace. Kenyans think that I came to activism the other day when I started doing the pigs protest. I've been doing the preaching peace for 4 years.
Okay.
For 4 years, I was going to the streets talking about. I was in Nakuru, I was in Kisumu, I was in Mombasa, Molo, Elbagon. I went to all these towns with my pictures showing what happened during the violence.
Yeah.
Now this country needs to heal. And beyond that, I even met, what is the name of Khan, Uhuru's lawyer, came to my office.
Oh.
Before he was Mudaura's lawyer, and he came to ask me, oh, you did this good work, you preached peace, can you talk to the guys that you spoke to? I said, no, I didn't know them. So the government is actually deliberately trying to be very selective in what they're accusing me of. They know my work is public. What I've done in the last 5-6 years, it's very public. They know everything about me. But now, the only way the government can be able to kill you easily is if they malign you and make your work doubtful. And they can actually say there's a fallout between the top class of the government and Boniface Mwangi. That's why he died. All
right, let's speak to Beth calling from Kiserian. Beth, good morning.
Good morning to you, Sophia.
Thank you for calling. Share with us your question or comment.
Okay, I would like to ask Boniface. First, I commend him because of his work. But I have an issue with him because his activism seems to be a piece not helping anyone. Because at the end of the day, when an activist come out and talk about poverty and not giving real solutions to the young people or talking about the projects that we, the young people, can do out there. Because we are having people like Giuliani talking about agriculture. What can we know him about? You know, activism cannot be so empty, like I see for him. So, should he not take an issue like people like Wangari Maathai? We remember her because of her passion for the environment. What is passion? Because poverty is just a vague word to talk about. So, should he not be bringing solutions and telling the youth the things that they can engage in and bring out real issues to us? Otherwise, his activism really is not working for us.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth, for watching and sharing with us your question. So
I have a response for her, very fast response. Okay. Number one, Beth, this may sound very arrogant, but it's true. You didn't vote for me. You didn't elect me to give you solutions. You elected Uhuru Kenyatta as the president and Ruto. And you have governors in every county. They should be giving you solutions. What I'm talking about is a culture of impunity. Showing what's wrong is my work that I want to do. I tell you that's wrong.
You're passionate about.
And the person who's responsible should act on that. Why is there unemployment? Why is there no books in schools? Why is there no medicine in hospitals? And the money is there. The problem with Beth and many other people who think like her have refused to think. The same childish mentality. You elect someone who has a manifesto and says that I'm going to do this. They don't do it, and you blame the activist. People are even blaming me for the hunger in Turkana. Oh, now you're trying to portray a bad image of this country. Did I cause the hunger in Turkana? No. The issue that you're facing, Nairobi is flooded right now. If you walk outside, you need a boat. Kidero is the governor. They blame the activists. The activist is a scapegoat. You know why? Kenyans are cowards. Instead of blaming the person they elected for the mess in this country, they are blaming people who shouldn't be blamed. You blame me for the mess in this country. Did I cause it? No, I didn't. So Beth wants me to give her solutions. I'm like, it's very simple. Tell the president to do his work. If the president did his work and did what he was elected to do, we wouldn't be in the streets protesting. We are protesting because the president has failed to do what he said he's going to do. The government is lying to us. They're lying to us.
Will you describe yourself as a person deeply passionate about Kenya and the Kenya you want at this particular point with your protest? As she's asking, what is it you're passionate about, if you were to tell her that?
Passionate about this country. I want a better country. As in, it's clear by my work. I point out mistakes, and I love doing that. because this should be working right. This should be correct. As in, if we have laws, why can't we follow the laws? Why do the laws apply selectively? This guy, Barasa, he was supposed to be extradited to The Hague. His case was hadn't finished. There's one other of Okemo and Sam Gishuru who stole money. The case is still lagging in court. Selective. Patni Goldenberg, he was cleared. And he was even given a certificate of good conduct. If I go and apply one right now, I have 2 court cases. Did I commit any crime? No. That's the way the country lives in.
But
where the law applies selectively.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
When the likes of you, Boniface, who is very vocal, you have a lot of following on social media, you said not too many people come out for the protest, but it catches the attention. We see it on the news. But when you decide enough is enough, when you decide you're not going to do this, you're fearing for your life, then what? Will this problem not continue? Don't we need a Boniface to continue and hope for the best?
We need more voices. I can't do it on my own. I can't. My wife has been living under so much fear, and I made a promise to her. Thursday was supposed to be my last protest. Thursday didn't work out the way we had planned it. It was supposed to be something totally different. It didn't work out. The government stopped it, and then got tear gassed, and that ended, and you have 3 people who were arrested. And what the police acted illegally, but no one is talking about that. The police didn't even inform me about the ban, that there was a ban on our meeting, on our protest. They didn't tell me that. We learned that through the media. If you don't have many more voices, this guy is going to the dogs. As we watch, it's literally going to the dogs. There are news scandals every single day.
True.
Every single
Tendering
day.
questions.
And Kenyans are not doing anything. Kenyans are like, oh, ni sawa tu, ni sawa tu. You know why? Because there's this fight between ODM and TNA, and then there's no opposition. Have you heard Raila Odinga talk about the railway scandal? Have you heard Raila Odinga talk about the issues? He's busy fighting his own battles inside his own party. So
also the opposition or minority have failed in terms of
We have no opposition in this country. We have no opposition. Let them not lie to you. Those guys can't debate, can't bring up issues. They have their own infighting. Them, they're targeting 2017. And then the people in power are looting for 2017. The governors who have devolved corruption. These things are just getting worse by the
What's
day.
good in Kenya? Listening to you, it sounds like this is just one freaking bad place to be. What is good in this country?
Kenya is a beautiful country, best weather, friendly people, even if we're hypocritical when it comes to tribalism. And it's one of the best countries in the world, but we have the biggest curse, bad leadership. But that curse is because of the way we vote. We sell our vote. We don't vote because of someone's what they represent. We vote because of the party line and the tribe they come from. If you look at the governor of who was impeached, now there's a Obora or Bera Obora.
Yeah.
There's a debate about Bere and Embu. Now we have gone to clanism. Instead of actually looking at the bigger issue, why is he being impeached? You're going now to clanism. Someone like Cecil Barire, who is educated, she's thinking like a child again. Oh, this clan is supposed to get this clan is supposed to get this. That's where we are at. Why can't we put country first? You see, if the president of this country put country first in everything that he does, things would be totally different.
Yeah.
But for him, he's thinking about 2017, 2022. It's about succession. How do you prolong our stay in power? How do you protect what you have stolen? How do we serve the interests of the people who made us get elected? If Kenyans rose up one day, if the Kenyan middle class said one day, at when kazi, ama they just take affirmative action collectively, then this country will change. But you don't do that. You have too many sellouts in this country. We have too many sellouts within the government, in the public, in civil society. Everyone wants to sell out. Everyone has a price.
So is there hope finally as we bring this to a close?
Is there hope? A lot of hope.
Okay.
The only way who got into power is the vote. The only way out is the vote. The Kenyans in this country can actually take action. And that means that you prepare. You know, the future is for those who prepare well. Prepare well for 2017. Start looking for alternative leadership and just looking for how do we change this country. Because the guys in power right now, maybe are going to stay there for another 5 years or 4 years because they have a mandate from the Kenyan people. They were elected by the Kenyan people. But in 2017, they'll come back and seek a fresh mandate. Then you can change that diaper and tell them, grow up, we don't need you.
Yeah.
That's one. Number two, we have a website called Diaper Mentality, and there's a number, 20540.
Okay.
Send out those diaper issues. Let's put them out there. Let's map this country in where the diapers are the heaviest and see how do we change those diapers and make this country better.
Yeah.
After all, this country belongs to all of us.
True.
And it's not all gloomy and sad in this country. I have a beautiful family. I enjoy my life. And guess what? Yes, I'm quitting. I'm going to learn how to dance, learn how to swim, enjoy my life. I'm like, you know what? Kenya is not my fight alone. If you don't fight collectively, I'm not going to fight. Because even if I die, nothing will change.
Wow. Wow, there you heard it. Boniface Mwangi, photojournalist or activist. We should not refer to you as that anymore.
Anything, but I'm a photographer. I'm going back to photography.
You're going back to photography. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. And true, there are very many beautiful things to celebrate about Kenya. But at the end of the day, for the Kenya we want, change does begin with each and every one of us. Responsibilities on each and every one of us. The question is always to ask, what are you doing at your own level? With the leadership you have, if you have issues, you keep voting them back in, then why are you complaining? One of the questions that Boniface is posing, and talking about looking and finding where the diapers are most heaviest in this country. It's all about the diaper mentality and, of course, the state of the nation. It is for us all, and we must make it work. We're going to take a short break now. When we return, we still have Bangla. So stay with us right here on KTN.